The first time I felt it, I thought it was just wind, but wind doesn't breathe in patterns. It came in slow, warm pulses against my face, like something inside the tunnel was exhaling. Not constantly, not randomly. It was timed, measured, almost controlled. We shouldn't have gone in that night. It was October 2019, somewhere outside Altoona, Pennsylvania. Me, Aaron, and Kyle had been driving around for hours looking for something to film. We ran a small channel back then, nothing big, just abandoned places and local legends. Aaron was the one who found it. An old railroad tunnel, long abandoned, hidden behind a stretch of overgrown trees off a broken service road. Locals called it the Breathing Tunnel. At first, we laughed. Every town has a story like that. Something haunted, something cursed. Usually it's just wind moving through a tight space, creating noise. Easy to explain, easy to debunk. That's what we thought we were doing. By the time we parked the car, it was already past 11 p.m. No streetlights, no houses nearby, just trees, cold air, and the quiet that only happens when you're far enough away from everything. We walked the rest of the way with flashlights and one camera. The tunnel entrance showed up slowly between the trees, like it didn't want to be seen all at once. Concrete walls, stained dark from years of moisture, the opening wide enough for a train that hadn't passed through in decades. Kyle let out a low whistle. That's bigger than I expected. Aaron grinned. Perfect. I didn't say anything. There was something about it I didn't like. Not fear, not yet. Just a feeling that the place didn't match the silence around it. Like it was doing something we couldn't see. We stepped closer. That's when I felt it for the first time. A warm gust of air pushed out from inside the tunnel, brushing across my face and neck. It wasn't strong, but it was noticeable, especially because the night itself was cold. I stopped walking. You feel that? I asked. Kyle nodded slowly. Yeah, that's weird. Aaron stepped forward, raising the camera. Probably pressure difference. They're moving in and out. I wanted to agree. But the air didn't keep moving. It stopped. Then a few seconds later, it came again. Another warm breath. Same strength. Same duration. Kyle frowned. That's not normal wind. Aaron hesitated for a second, then forced a laugh. It's fine. Just air cycling. But he said it quieter this time. We moved inside. The temperature dropped immediately, except for those pulses of warm air that kept coming at intervals. The deeper we went, the darker it got. Our flashlights barely reached the walls, and the ceiling disappeared into shadow above us. The ground was uneven, covered in gravel and old debris. Every step echoed, bouncing back at us in ways that made it hard to tell how far the tunnel really went. After about 30 feet in, the outside world disappeared completely behind us. No more trees, no more sky, just us and the tunnel. Aaron stopped to adjust the camera settings. Audio's picking up something weird, he said. What kind of weird? Kyle asked. Aaron tilted his head slightly, listening through one earbud, like a static. But not exactly. I listened too. At first, I didn't hear anything. Then, very faintly, something under the silence. Not loud enough to understand. Just there. Like whispers too far away to make out. You hear that? I said. Kyle nodded slowly. Yeah. Aaron pulled the earbud out. Probably water dripping somewhere. But there was no dripping sound. No echoes of falling water. Just that low, constant, almost voice. We kept walking. Another breath of warm air rolled out from deeper inside, brushing past us again. This time it felt stronger, like it carried weight with it. Like it came from something large. Kyle stopped. Okay, that one felt different. Aaron didn't respond. He was staring ahead. What? I asked. He pointed. At first, I didn't see anything. Then I noticed it. The wall. It looked wrong. Not broken. Not damaged. Just uneven in a way that didn't match the rest of the tunnel. Like the surface had shifted slightly, forming shallow ripples in the concrete. Kyle stepped closer, shining his light directly at it. That wasn't here before. You sure? I asked. He nodded. I would have noticed. Another breath came. Stronger now. The air pushed out from the direction of that wall, warm and slow. And the surface moved. Just slightly. Like something behind it had pressed forward. All three of us froze. That's not possible, Aaron said quietly. The whispering sound grew a little louder. Still unclear. Still impossible to understand. But closer now. Kyle leaned in, his light shaking slightly. There's something behind this. Don't touch it, I said immediately. But he already had. His fingers pressed against the concrete. For a second, nothing happened. Then the wall pushed back. Not hard. Not violent. Just enough to make Kyle jerk his hand away. What the hell? He started. The whispering stopped. Silence dropped over the tunnel, so suddenly it felt heavy. Then the air came again. A long, deep exhale. Hotter this time. Closer. Right in front of us. Aaron stepped back. We should go. No one argued. We turned around and started walking toward the entrance, our pace faster now, our lights shaking more than before. But something felt wrong immediately. The distance. It felt longer. Like the entrance had moved farther away. Kyle looked back once. Don't, Aaron snapped. I think it's following us, Kyle said quietly. I didn't ask what he meant, because I could feel it too. The air wasn't just coming from behind us anymore. It was moving around us. Small pulses, short breaths, closer and closer. And then I heard it, clear, right next to my ear. A whisper. Not loud, not aggressive, just precise. Like someone speaking directly to me from inches away. I couldn't understand the words, but I knew one thing. It wasn't echoing. It wasn't distant. It was right there. And when I turned my head, there was nothing beside me. We reached the middle of the tunnel when the breathing changed. It stopped being spaced out, stopped being controlled. Now it came faster, shorter, like something struggling to keep rhythm, or trying to match ours. Kyle was breathing hard now. It's copying us. Aaron shook his head. No, that's not. But then it happened again. Another whisper. This time a clear. Not perfect, but close. It sounded like my voice, saying my name. I froze. Aaron grabbed my arm. Don't stop. But I couldn't move, because the wall next to me moved again. Closer than before. Closer than it should have been. And the voice came again, right from inside it. Trying to say something right. Trying to sound human. And for a second, it almost did. I didn't answer it. I don't know if that mattered, but something in my gut told me that the moment I responded, it would understand more than it already did. Aaron pulled me hard, forcing me to move again. My legs felt stiff, like they didn't belong to me, but I followed. Kyle stayed close behind us, his breathing uneven, his flashlight shaking so badly the beam kept jumping across the walls. The tunnel felt tighter now. Not physically, but mentally. Like the space around us was closing in, pressing against our thoughts, making it harder to focus. The entrance should have been visible by now, even just a faint gray shape in the distance, but there was nothing. Just darkness stretching ahead. That's not right, Kyle said. We've been walking straight. We should be out. Aaron didn't answer. He just kept moving faster now. Then the breathing changed again. It stopped matching us. It went ahead of us. A warm pulse of air came from the direction we were walking toward, brushing against our faces like something had just exhaled right in front of us. We all stopped at the same time. No, Aaron said under his breath. No, no, no. Kyle turned slowly. It's not behind us anymore. I didn't want to look forward, but I did. The darkness ahead felt different, heavier, and then we heard it. Footsteps, soft, slow, not echoing like ours, deliberate. Something was walking inside the tunnel, in front of us. Aaron lowered his voice. Back up, slowly. We started stepping backward, careful, controlled, trying not to make noise. The footsteps stopped. Then they matched us. One step back. It took one step forward. Same timing. Same rhythm. Kyle let out a shaky breath. It's copying us again. The whisper came back, this time from ahead, closer than before. It tried to speak again, and this time, I understood part of it. Stay. The word dragged slightly, like it had trouble forming the sound. Aaron's grip tightened on my arm. We're leaving. Now. We turned and started walking faster in the opposite direction, not caring about noise anymore. Gravel crunched loudly under our boots, the sound bouncing wildly around the tunnel. Then the breathing came from both sides. Left, right, short bursts, fast, unstable. Like whatever it was getting excited. Kyle started to panic. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Keep moving. Aaron snapped. The tunnel walls looked wrong again. Not just rippling now. Shifting. Subtle movements that you'd miss if you weren't staring directly at them. But once you saw it, you couldn't unsee it. The surface flexed inward slightly, then relaxed. Like lungs. Like the entire tunnel was breathing. I felt another whisper brush past my ear. This time, it sounded closer to me. Cleaner. Wait. I clenched my jaw and kept walking. It wasn't just repeating anymore. It was choosing words. Learning faster. Aaron suddenly stopped. Do you see that? He said. I followed his light. For a second, I thought it was the entrance. A faint shape in the distance. But it wasn't right. Too small. Too narrow. And it was moving. Slowly. Coming toward us. Kyle whispered, That's not the way out. The shape stepped closer. And the breathing stopped. Completely. The silence that followed was worse than anything before. Because now, there was no rhythm. No warning. Just stillness. The figure came into the edge of our light. Human-shaped. Standing upright. But something about it didn't line up. The posture was off. Too stiff. Too perfect. It stopped a few feet away from us, and just stood there, watching. None of us spoke. None of us moved. Then it tilted its head slightly, like it was studying us, trying to get something right. Kyle's voice broke. What is that? No one answered, because deep down we already knew. The figure took a step closer, and the light hit its face. For a moment, it looked normal. Just a man. Same height as Aaron. Same build. Then it shifted. Not physically, but in the details. The skin looked too still. The eyes didn't reflect light the way they should. They looked empty. Then it smiled. Slow. Measured. Like it had practiced that expression. And then it spoke. Aaron's voice. Perfect. We found a way out. Aaron's grip tightened on my arm. That's not me, he said quietly. The thing took another step forward. Still smiling. Still watching. It repeated the sentence. Same tone. Same timing. No variation. Like a recording. Kyle shook his head, backing up. No, no, no. The whispering returned. But now it wasn't coming from the walls. It was coming from behind the figure. Multiple voices. Layered. Overlapping. Trying to form words. trying to sound right. Aaron made a decision. Run. We turned and sprinted. No plan. No direction. Just away from it. The tunnel seemed endless now. Every turn felt wrong. Every step felt slower than it should have been. Behind us, the footsteps followed. Not rushing. Not chasing. Just keeping pace. Perfectly. I risked a glance back. I wish I hadn't. There wasn't just one anymore. There were several shapes now. All human. All slightly off. Moving in sync. Their steps matching ours exactly. Their heads tilted at the same angle. Their bodies learning our movement in real time. Kyle screamed. They're copying everything. Aaron didn't look back. Don't stop. The breathing came back, louder than ever. The walls expanded slightly as we passed, then pulled inward again, like the tunnel was alive, like it was helping them. Then I saw it. Ahead, the real entrance. Faint, but there. Light, cold air. Freedom. Go. Aaron shouted. We ran harder, pushing everything we had left. The shapes behind us didn't speed up. They didn't need to. They were already close enough. I could hear their footsteps overlapping ours. Perfect timing. Perfect rhythm. And then, just before we reached the exit, I heard it again. My voice. Right behind me. Clear. Perfect. Stop. I almost did. Just for a second. My body reacted before my mind could stop it. And in that moment, something grabbed my jacket. Not hard. Not pulling. Just touching. Like it was testing what I would do. I tore forward, breaking free, stumbling out of the tunnel into the cold night air. Aaron and Kyle followed right behind me. We didn't stop running until we reached the car. No one spoke. No one looked back. Not yet. Then Kyle did. Slowly. Carefully. He turned his head toward the tunnel entrance, and his face changed immediately. What? He whispered. I forced myself to look. At the edge of the tunnel, just inside the darkness, 3 figures stood there, perfectly still, watching us. Their faces were hard to see, but their posture, their stance, it matched ours exactly, like a reflection that didn't need a mirror. Then one of them moved, just slightly, lifting its hand, mimicking the way I was standing. Exactly. And then, even from that distance, I saw its face. It was mine. Not almost. Not close. Exact. And just before we got into the car, I heard it one last time, from inside the tunnel. My voice. Clear. Controlled. Practiced. Stay. I didn't sleep that night. None of us did. The next morning, Aaron checked the footage. Most of it was gone. Corrupted. Static. But one clip remained. Just a few seconds. Shot near the middle of the tunnel. It showed us standing there. All 3 of us. Looking at the wall. Not moving. Not speaking. Just watching. And behind us, something stood in the dark. Close. Closer than it should have been. Watching us, the way we thought we were watching it. Aaron replayed the clip again, and again. Each time we stood there in the frame, frozen in that same position, facing the wall. The light from our flashlights barely reached past our shoulders, but whatever was behind us, it stayed just inside that edge of visibility, close enough to be there, far enough to never fully show itself. Kyle leaned closer to the screen. Pause it. Aaron did. For a second, nothing looked different. Then Kyle pointed. Right there. Look at the timing. I didn't understand at first. Then Aaron pressed play again. Our movements were slow, subtle, almost nothing. Just slight shifts in posture, small turns of the head. But the thing behind us didn't move at the same time. It moved after, just a fraction of a second later, like it was watching, then repeating, learning, frame by frame. Kyle's voice dropped. That's not live. That's not us anymore. No one said anything after that, because we all knew what that meant. Aaron scrubbed forward in the footage. The clip should have ended after a few seconds, but it didn't. It kept going, even though we remembered leaving, even though we knew we had already run out of the tunnel. On screen, we were still there, still standing, still facing the wall. Minutes passed. Then something changed. One of us moved, slowly, turning around. But it wasn't any of us who had done that. Not in real life. The figure in the video turned fully toward the camera. The light hit its face, and for a moment, it looked exactly like me. Then it smiled. Not wide, not exaggerated. Just enough, like it understood something we didn't. Aaron's hand froze on the keyboard. I never filmed that. Kyle shook his head. That's not possible. The version of me on screen stepped closer to the camera. The movement was smooth, too smooth, like it had practiced it. Then it leaned in, close enough that its face filled the frame. And it spoke. No distortion, no echo, just my voice. Calm, steady. We stayed. The screen went black. The file ended. No one moved for a long time after that. Eventually, Kyle stood up and stepped away from the desk. Delete it. Aaron didn't respond. He just stared at the screen. I couldn't take my eyes off the reflection in the monitor. Because for a second, just a second, I thought I saw something behind us, standing in the doorway, perfectly still, watching. I turn around. Nothing was there. Of course, nothing was there. But when I looked back at the screen, the reflection was gone, completely, like it had never been there to begin with. Aaron finally spoke, his voice low. We're done with this. No one argued. We packed everything up that same day. No more tunnels. No more abandoned places. No more filming. We agreed without saying it out loud. Some things don't need to be understood. Weeks passed, then months. We stopped talking about it. Stopped mentioning that night. Life went back to normal, or at least it tried to. But every now and then, something fell off. Small things, easy to ignore. At first, like hearing a sound in the house when I knew I was alone, or catching my reflection in a window and feeling like it didn't match me right away. Just for a second. Just long enough to notice. Then it would be normal again. I told myself it was stress, lack of sleep, anything but that. Until last night, I was in my room, lights off, just the glow from my phone in my hand. Scrolling, not thinking. Then I heard it. Soft, faint, a sound I hadn't heard since that night. Breath, warm, close, right behind me. I froze. Slowly, I looked up, toward the dark reflection of my room in the window. For a moment, it was empty. Then something shifted. Subtle, but there. A shape, standing behind me, perfectly still, matching my posture, matching my stillness. I didn't turn around. I couldn't, because deep down, I already knew what I would see. The glass reflected my face, my eyes, my expression, but something about it felt delayed, like it was catching up, learning, and then, very slowly, the reflection smiled first.